Hello everybody, welcome to the 1956 Italian Grand Prix, the title decider. Once again, as you can see, Hermano da Silva Ramos is on the front row, but the qualifying pace was actually very poor for the Gordinis. They were on the back row. Seems like the team's just given up, but thankfully the game has decided once again to promote him to second on the grid. So we have all of our title contenders in the top six. Stirlingmoss on pole. Stirlingmoss on pole. Da Silva Ramos on the front row, and jackfairman lining up in sixth place. If they finish as they start, Stirlingmoss would claim the World Championship for the first time. Jackfairman still leads it by 4 points though. And we do have some news about next season this weekend. It's been a very slow news year really. Not much has happened, but all of a sudden there's been some things that have developed coming into the Monza weekend. The first of which was that jeanbehra has announced that he is going to stay with Maserati for next season. However, there's no news about Stirlingmoss yet, which was a bit curious. We kind of expected there to be some news one way or another. So that will go into the close season. We won't find out until we get into 1957 how that is going to go. But then there was some even bigger news. We've been wondering about Fangio's future this year because it's not gone as hoped with Ferrari. We thought Ferrari can't be down for too long and Fangio will likely stay for next season or maybe go to Maserati. Well, neither of those are the case. Fangio is going to go and become jackfairman's teammate at Connaught. What a shock move that is. But Fangio, he obviously is looking at how the Connaught's doing this year, feels it's a neat and tidy car and hopes that the British team will be able to maintain that next season, and Connaught will be hoping for an upgrade for Scotty, who I think has had a good year this year, but you know, they want to improve that even further and try to be regular front runners next season. Hopefully the reliability and everything will work a bit better than it has been to this point. So, so Fangio off to Connaught. And then one final thing that the FIA have declared is the point system for next season is changing. It is going to still be 8 for a win, 6 for second, 4 for third, 3 for fourth, second for fifth, but now also they are going to introduce a point for sixth place. So now if you finish sixth, you will get a point from next season. So, yeah, interesting. A little bit more opportunity for point scorers. But here we go with the title decider. All the news is out of the way. And now the racing will begin for the title decider in Monza. Stirlingmoss on pole. Hermano da Silva Ramos alongside alfonsodeportago has done a brilliant job qualifying third. What happens here then? Da Silva Ramos is fighting with Moss here. Who is going to get the jump? Moss is trying to hold on. It's a long run down into turn one. And Stirlingmoss will try his best to hold on, but I think Da Silva Ramos has got the break on him. And last time we saw something like this in France where Da Silva Ramos had a genuinely quick car, he pulled away comfortably to win that race. So it's a big opportunity for him. Deportago is also ahead of Moss, and that's Moss actually has gone off, so that doesn't help him. Fairman was up in a fourth, but he's gone off, so he's going to drop down to, well, is he going to be able to keep going? He does keep going, but he drops down to about 7th or 8th place there. Jeanbehra in 6th place in the Maserati. Gonzalez up to 5th. He had quite a good qualifying. I think he qualified about 8th. So that's, again, the first time Josefroliangonzalez has been anywhere near the top 10 this year. He's got a good chance to bring home some points today. But Da Silva Ramos still leading, but Deportago is starting to reel him in now. And they're both a bit slidey, widey there. But this is a chance. Ferrari have been poor all year, but they might just have a chance to win at home in Monza. But Da Silva Ramos needs that victory to have a chance at winning the World Championship here today, and it's the only result that will do for him. Ultimately, if jackfairman gets back into the points, it's game over regardless. Moss is in third at the moment. Moss can't do it. Moss needs a minimum of second place, and he seems to be having one of those races where he just seems to be going backwards. Oh, there's Fangio. Was that behind Moss? But Fangio is now in a spin, and Fairman comes through. I think that will see Fairman back into the points. So this potentially is World Championship winning position for jackfairman. Now up in the fourth as somebody else goes off. So yeah, it's Da Silva Ramos still leading. Deportago's Ferrari has held the road still at the moment. That's crucial for Ferrari, but you know, they don't seem to make it through more than half distance at the best. So a long way for Da Silva for Deportago to go if he wants to take those points. But Fairman is looking really good. Gonzalez is still running up in the points, so he's doing very well. Now we see, around the Monza around the Monza bagged circuit, we see all sorts of confusions as drivers retire, so you're going to see some very random positions for these guys. It doesn't mean they're going to drop. They have dropped down to those positions. It means that they are where they are, but the game gets super confused when people drop out, especially in the second half of the circuit. So you will see some random positions noted there. But De Silva Ramos still winning. We see a bit of the Prix Grand Prix there. We saw a bit of that in France when De Silva Ramos won as well. Look to jackfairman now, chasing after Stirling Moss. Every chance for him to get onto the podium here, and that to take the World Championship with a podium would be great. Moss just doesn't seem to have pace, and you know, he started on pole as well, so he's going to be absolutely shattered. Another opportunity to win the World Championship appears to be slipping away. Fairman doesn't look particularly stable there, but he is holding with it now as Moss is sliding wide again. He's really struggling with that Maserati in the race today. Big shame for Stirling Moss. His title hopes are slipping away massively unless there is some major issues for cars in front. Jackfairman, I know the graphic says second, but as I explained, he is still in third. De Silva Ramos leads onto lap 2. He's halfway through this Grand Prix now, but he needs a retirement from Jackfairman, or Jackfairman's drop out of the points in order to win the World Championship. He also needs Stirling Moss. Where would Moss be? He would be third. So yeah, if De Silva Ramos wins the race, Moss would still need to be second. He needs a second either way here, Stirling Moss, to win the World Championship. So there are still a lot of interesting possible connotations, but at the moment it's Jackfairman's presence in that third place that is making things look a lot more straightforward, because all he's got to do is finish in the points anywhere to get the World Championship. If Moss was to win the race somehow from here, then Jackfairman would only need a third place, and he is in that third place right now. So yeah, either way, Jackfairman is looking very good here to win the World Championship, but it's not over yet. De Silva Ramos is in a tank slapper there, and once again he struggled there last time, but this time Deportago doesn't struggle, so he will close in some ground. Now there is potentially a chance for a Ferrari home win. They have really struggled all year, but today at Monza, could they bring home the spoils? It is looking very possible. De Silva Ramos, he needs to stay in that win to have in that lead to have a chance of the World Championship, as we know. So all sorts of very interesting, tense situations. That is, I'm going to show you, Jackfairman is still third. It's a 14th under the bridge and third out of the bridge. Just goes to show how the game reads this one. Drivers retire and then it puts them into the pit lane and thinks they're in the lead. They're definitely not in the lead. De Silva Ramos coming around, and we're coming up to having another half of a lap to go as Hermano De Silva Ramos comes through and enters now to go onto the banked section of the circuit for the final time, with Alfonsodeportago still behind him. The Tifosi maintaining their excitement, still wanting to see a victory for their Spanish driver. But Deportago has not scored points all season. In fact, only two Ferrari drivers, Fangio and Musso, have scored any points all season, and they're only on 5. They are sitting last in the Constructors' Championship out of the teams that have scored in any case, and they need to do more to get anywhere. But Deportago, I would just hope that he'll bring that home. Gonzalez still holding 5th place at the moment, and yeah, Deportago, that is not P1, it is still P2. We can see De Silva Ramos still up the road there once we get past the Prix Grand Prix. There he is. So Hermano De Silva Ramos now going down towards the final corner. This race is coming to a close, and it's coming to a close in really with a satisfactory outcome for 2 of the title challengers. I'm not sure that Stirling Moss will be particularly happy. He's still struggling in 4th place, but he isn't under any threat from behind. He just hasn't got any pace to catch up ahead. But the clock is running down anyway. The clock is also running down for Alfonsodeportago in the Ferrari as Hermano De Silva Ramos comes down towards the line. He is going to win the Italian Grand Prix. He's not quite going to be good enough for the championship unless Jackfairman drops out. But Hermano De Silva Ramos gets his 2nd win of the season and also sends Gordini out of Formula 1 with a win. So final race for Gordini, a win for Hermano De Silva Ramos. What a way for them to bow out. And Deportago does indeed come home 2nd, so Ferrari fans can celebrate, and considering how their season has gone, it has to be a celebration. Jackfairman, though, he crosses the line to become the world champion of 1956. What a great performance from him all season long. And we have a British world champion. We have a British car winning the world championship as well. Fantastic all round from Jackfairman. Absolutely superb. And we see Gonzalez had an issue in the closing stages. As you can see, he dropped to 12th. So the fairy tale for Josefroliangonzalez and some points didn't happen. He's lost 2 great opportunities of points this season, both here at Monza and, of course, Silverstone, where he was winning the race until his car gave him all sorts of problems and he had to retire. What a shame. But, there we go. Hermano da Silva Ramos does indeed win the race for Gordini. Alfonsodeportago gets second place for Ferrari. So, finally, Ferrari get a podium this season. Jackfairman, third, and with it the World Championship. Stirlingmoss, very disappointed in the end to come home in 4th place. Should have been so much more. But he'll have to, once again, batten down the hatches and go again next season, whoever he decides to sign with, or if he re-signs with Maserati. And then Mauricetrintignant finishes 5th for vanwall. He has had a very strong second half of the season. In fact, just the last 3 races, vanwall's performance has been markedly improved. You know, vanwall today, that they qualified, I think, 6th. Well, it was 6th, but 7th after the Silva Ramos got promoted. So they qualified 7th, 11th, and even Chapman was only in 21st. So most of the season, vanwalls, they were lucky if their highest car was 25th on the grid. So massive improvement, and Trintignant brings home 2 points for 5th place today. So let's have a quick look at the World Championship. Jackfairman, the World Champion, 24 points. Hermano da Silva Ramos, 2nd on 21. Stirlingmoss, 3rd on 19. Mauricetrintignant, 4th on 14 points. Wouldn't have predicted that 3 races ago. Padisa, 5th on 11. Maglioli, 6th on 10. And then Behra, Hawthorne, Taruffi, and Maglioli. No, not Maglioli. Godia, round out the top 10. Then the constructors. Maserati win at 89 points. Connaught, 31. Gordini, 27. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Take care.